this is a hyperbola because it came off of the hyperbola worksheet. So that's the clue there. But the next quiz after this one is going to be seeing which conic section it is. Is it a parabola? Is it a circle? Is it a hyperbola? Or is it a ellipse? You're going to have them all mixed together, and then you've got to do some things for me. It's a pretty easy quiz if you listen to the instructions, but this is a hyperbola primarily. You look at the x squared and the y squared terms, and one is negative and one is positive. If they were both positive, it's either a circle or an ellipse, but it's a circle if the number in front is the same, and it's an ellipse if the numbers are different, okay? So we're going to learn all about that starting Monday or Tuesday after we take this test. So let's put the y's together. And the y is positive, so he goes first. What kind of a hyperbola is this going to be if the y is first?
Vertical.
A vertical. Very good. And this is minus 4x squared plus 24x plus box equals 36 plus box plus box. So we're going to have to complete this square. But before we can complete this square, what has to happen? That's right. The y squared and the x squared have to be totally naked. So we're going to take away the 3 and factor it out. And then when we complete this square, we take the middle guy, divide it by 2, and square it. So that's going to be a 4, because 4 divided by 2 is 2, and squared is 4. And then here we're going to take out the 4, and we have x squared minus 6x, and that's going to be a 9. That comes up a lot, doesn't it? So what are we putting in our plus boxes on the other side?
12
and a negative 36.
So the 36 is by deduction.
So now we can factor, and when we factor, we have 3y plus 2 squared minus 4x minus 3 squared, and remember it's this sign here and the square root of that number. That's how you factor those. And that equals 12. Got it? So when we look at our formula sheet, a hyperbola, that's not the way the formula reads on our formula sheet. It has to be equal to 1. So we have to divide everything by 12. And we get y plus 2 squared over 4 minus x minus 3 squared over 3 equals 1.
K is going to be negative 2. H is going to be...
K is going to be negative 2 because it's the one next to the y, and it's the opposite of, yes?
H is going to be positive 3.
Okay, what about you, Will? Give me A, B, or C.
A is going to be 2.
Uh-huh.
B is going to be square root of 3.
Okay, and if we were going to find C, it would be the Pythagorean theorem, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it would be 2 squared plus root 3 squared equals C squared. That's 4 plus 3 equals C squared. 7 equals C squared. So it's going to be the square root of 7. That makes sense? And now we're going to graph this thing. That's not too bad. Oh, wait. It's up here. It's down here. So we're going to have to graph it like this. Okay. So we know our center is 3, negative 2. We're going to plot the center. And we know it's vertical because the y is the positive term. So we're going to go up 2, down 2, and the square root of 3 is 1.73. So we're going to go to the right 1.73 and to the left 1.73. And we're going to build our box. This isn't perfect. We're going to draw our asymptotes, which go through the corners. And then your parabolas, it says vertical, it comes off the top like this and off the bottom without touching the asymptotes, but really getting close, okay? Now, the only thing I want you to draw for the test, you're going to have to find the focus. So what's the formula for focus on a vertical hyperbola?
K minus C. And then K plus C.
H comma K minus C and H comma K plus C. So let's plot those. So we've got 3, comma, and that's going to be -2 plus root 7. What is the root 7 in a decimal? 2 point what?
It's 2.64.
Okay. So it's going to be, k is -2 plus 2.64 is going to be 0.64, right? And 3 is going to be -2 minus, so it's -4.64. So when you graph these points, if they're not inside the parabola, you know you've got a problem. So we've got 3.64 is right about here, and 3, -1, 2, 3, 4.64 is right about here. So it looks good to me. If you look at your formula, it has to be equal to 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to complete the square on this one because there is no x squared and an x and a y squared and a y. You only complete the square if there's both of those.
Okay.
So this one is so easy, it's hard.
Mhm.
So we're going to divide everything by 64, and we get x squared over 4 plus y squared over 64 equals 1. And now you have h and k are 0, 0, and a is 8, and b is 2. Now remember, with an ellipse, a is always the bigger guy. That's what's wrong with this test. You're going to have ellipses and hyperbolas, and you've got to know the rules for each one individually.
Mm-hmm.
So you do all the ellipses first, get yourself in ellipse mode, and then do all the hyperbolas. In an ellipse, a is always bigger. In a hyperbola, a is the guy under the positive one.
Okay.
So see the difference? And if you're going to do c, you got a squared, 8 squared minus 2 squared equals c squared. That's 64 minus 4 equals c squared. So it's the square root of 60, and that's 2, 3, 5, and 2. So you can pull out a 2, root 15, right?